Hello and welcome to Her Becoming. I am your host, Kayla Countryman. As always, thank you for being here. If it is your first time listening to this show, this is going to be such a fun episode. I'm really excited about this one. I'm excited about all my episodes, but this one I was really looking forward to planning. I'm turning 30 in less than a week. When this episode comes out, it'll be less than a week. And I really wanted to take the time to share lessons from my 20s in a big sister way. My goal for this episode is that it just gets shared to women navigating all phases of their 20s, early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, just shared with them as wisdom to help you navigate that road. And if you are not in your 20s, this episode is still for you. So if it's your first time being here, welcome to the show. Her Becoming is a holistic health and wellness and personal development podcast that is intended to help you become the woman that you were sent here to be. And what we know about our 20s is that they are such a formative time. I think that they are an incredibly important and foundational time in our journey of becoming. So I feel this episode is really important in the nature of this show as well. So if this is your first time hearing from me, again, my name is Kayla. I am a holistic health and wellness coach. I am a yoga instructor. I also have a day job as a project manager. I have been a business owner for 5 years now and really have navigated the trenches of entrepreneurship and a full-time job and also doing both and also getting my holistic health and wellness coaching certification just this last summer. I am essentially the multi-passionate queen. I love working on things outside of my day job that help me become more aligned to who I want to be in the future. I love diving into my own spirituality and my own purpose and sharing that with you all. So my intention for today is to share random pieces of advice and random nuggets of my own journey to really help steer you and help guide you through a decade that can just be really freaking confusing. Like, your 20s are hard. You're going from college to post-college to really getting into adulthood. You navigate through your Saturn return, which we'll talk about a little bit. You really start to navigate relationships and friendships in a different way than you did when you were a teenager. So there's a lot to get into. And I hope that this episode, in one way or another, helps you find your way. So let's look a little bit at my timeline. When I turned 20, I was a junior at the University of Michigan. I had started my career in marketing through a summer internship at an agency that I ended up working at for 5 years. When I was 20, I also met my ex, who I ended up dating for nearly 9 years, to ultimately end up calling off our wedding just 19 days before. That's covered in episodes 9 and 10. If you want the tea on that, you can go back and listen to those episodes. And in my mid-20s at 25, I started my business. And I think that starting my business is the most pivotal thing that I did in my 20s. And it's also the thing that I am definitely the most proud of. I spent 4 years of my 20s running my business full time, which is so cool and something I don't give myself enough credit for. I did over $250,000 in sales when I was running my business full time on my own. Learned so much about myself through the process of entrepreneurship and faced probably my greatest challenges outside of my relationship that blew up have come from navigating being a business owner. And it's something that I think really shaped me into the woman that I am today. I wouldn't be here recording this episode, leading this podcast, growing this brand, if I hadn't made the really risky decision to start a business at 25 and quit my full-time job at that moment. Right now, I actually do have a 9 to 5 in addition to running my business. It's something that I decided to do earlier this year. There's also an episode about that if you want to go back and learn more. But ultimately, my goal is to be back in my business full-time again. And it's just, I can't state enough how important that decision was in my 20s. Throughout my 20s, I have done an abundance of therapy, self-discovery. I am a huge advocate of reading books and listening to podcasts. I've attended countless workshops and events like guided meditations and spiritual journeys. I've done spiritual coaching, you name it. I've really expanded my belief system. I've really opened my mind and my heart, and I've grown closer to God. Most importantly, I've settled into a version of faith that works for me and is very personal to me. And my 20s really helped me navigate that. So that's a little bit about me in case you are not familiar with who I am. I say all that to say I have learned so much in this last decade. I have been through a lot in this last decade. I have taken risks. I have overcome challenges. I have been through some pretty traumatic events. I have gone through a lot, and I think that we all do in our 20s. And I just want to take the time to shed some of my wisdom and shed some of my light and pour into you if you are navigating these times. I know it is not easy, but I want you to know that you are completely capable of getting to the other side of whatever you are navigating. And I can also confidently say, like, it gets better. I turned 30 in less than a week, and I feel the most confident I've ever felt. I feel the sexiest I've ever felt. I feel more in touch with my style than I've ever felt. And I feel like I'm glowing in a different way than I ever did in my earlier mid 20s. So I hope that that also encourages you that aging is not scary. I may be spiraling just a little bit about turning 30 because entering a new decade does feel intimidating. But I say to you and I say to myself, it's not scary. We just continue to become more wise and more beautiful and more lovely as we go on. Okay, so there's a chance this could get a little bit chaotic, but I'm kind of down for that. I have a list. I have a list of what landed on my heart when I was planning this episode, and I'm just going to share it with you, and we're just going to kind of ramble on, take what resonates with you, leave behind what doesn't. If you want to like take notes and jot some of these things down, that could be supportive and helpful, but know that you can revisit this episode at any time. Like download it, bookmark it, save it, and come back to this anytime you need a reminder or a pep talk. The things that we're going to discuss are within the categories of relationships, career, mindset, spirituality, finances, and health. So let's go ahead and dive in. The first thing is at the top of this list for a reason. If you take one thing from this long list of items, let it be this. Discover who you are independently outside of all your relationships. Women have a tendency to adapt into relationships that we are in, especially if you get into a romantic relationship really young, like I did at the age of 20. It can create this gray area of who you are and who you're wanting to become. And so whether you are single or in a relationship, I want to encourage you, discover who you are. Figure out your passions, your hobbies, what you want for yourself and your future, just for you without considering anyone else. Learn to trust your intuition relentlessly. This is a life skill. Learning to trust your intuition when you're making decisions, when you are getting signs and signals that something is or is not for you. Learn to trust that and roll with it. Learn to trust it and take the action that is in alignment with what your intuition is calling for. If you don't know a lot about intuition or don't know how to get in tune with yours, I do have an episode about that. You can go search and find. But please, please, please learn to trust your intuition and learn to take action accordingly. Similar to that, seek advice when you need it, but trust yourself more than you trust other people's opinions. We are taught to look outside of ourselves for validation, for advice, for approval. It is pivotal that you learn to trust your own wisdom and your own advice because no one knows your life, your story, or your desires as intimately as you do. Instead of constantly looking outside yourself for your next move, your next step in your career, in a relationship, in what you want for dinner, look inside yourself. Seek advice when you need it, but learn to trust you. On the health side of things, get blood work done to inform your nutrition and stop it with the random supplements. We are in an era of TikTok doctors and people telling you constantly what to take or not take when they have no idea what your unique body's experience is. We are all completely different genetic makeups with different needs, different gaps to fill. Get your blood work done. I work with a wonderful doctor. Her name is Dr. Monique. She is amazing. She is a naturopath. She is a blood chemistry analyst and also a health coach. She can help you identify those gaps, especially when it comes to women's health and hormones and PMSing and acne and being bloated. If you struggle with any of that, she is one of the best investments that I made in my 20s, and I can't recommend her enough. So I will drop her in the show notes as well. It is so important that you quit it with taking all of the random things without knowing what's actually working for your body. Speaking of your body will experience symptoms and they are signs. Learn to listen to them. Talk about this a lot with my last relationship where I was experiencing pain in the form of period pain and slight chest pains during arguments and extreme bloating, extreme acne that was really swollen and really inflamed. All of those were signals and signs from my body. As women, we have to listen because the body truly does keep score. If you are experiencing symptoms or inflammation, it is likely not random. Learn about nervous system regulation, learn about how stress impacts your body, and take it seriously. I really wish I did earlier in my 20s, but it is something that I swear by now. Next up, journal. Start documenting your life. Seriously. If you do not journal, start by just writing down how your day is going, write down your thoughts, write down the things that you are dreaming of creating or dreaming of doing, write down conversations that you've had that you want to remember. I think there's so much beauty in documenting your life. And as we grow older, being able to look back into those notebooks and see our life experiences. Journaling is something that you can use to achieve your goals. You can use it to further connect with your intuition. You can use it to dream about your future and create the life that you really desire. And I think there's also something so beautiful about having these documented moments and maybe being able to share that with your grandchildren one day or with their grandchildren one day and passing down these lived experiences that we've had. Here's another big one. Do not settle. Do not settle. Do not settle. Do not settle in your relationship or your career. Do not settle. We do not have time to be settling. There is so much beauty in life, and the life that you will get to live if you choose not to settle. I say this so passionately because I've just gone through this recently with calling off my wedding and leaving a long-term relationship. I almost settled. I will say that with my full chest. And I'm so glad that I didn't, because life on this side of settling is so beautiful and it's so much better and it's so much more fun. And I have a future waiting for me that I cannot wait to experience because I chose not to settle. So if that speaks to you, if you feel something in you when I say that, maybe investigate that further. Similar to not settling, ask for more. This one really, especially in your career, ask for the raise, ask for the promotion, ask for the signing bonus, negotiate for more, get more, ask for more. The worst thing that can happen is they say no. But I am an advocate of just asking for more. Ask for what you really want and see what happens. We are powerful as human beings and as women, but we are also not on an even playing field with men, especially women of color, with pay gap, with access to resources, with access to promotions and positions of leadership, and even business growth and grants and investments in business. And so ask for more, period. Learn about your cycle. This is huge, and I will be recording a full episode on cycle syncing soon. But learn about your cycle. I'm going to put a few of my favorite books in the show notes that have helped me really understand my cycle. I am kind of psychotic about it. I know what day of my cycle I'm on at any given moment. I know exactly where I'm at based on my temperature, based on my cravings, based on how my body feels, my mood, how sleepy I am. I know it all. And I'm able to shift my diet and my workouts and even my social life and my business planning accordingly. And so it's something that will really change your life if you get to understand and get in tune with your cycle. Spoiler though, if you are on hormonal birth control, this is something that is not going to necessarily be the case for you. So definitely look into that and explore, but it's worth doing the research and seeing if it's something that you can take on in your 20s, because I think that learning about your body is one of the most important things you can do in this decade. All right, girls, red flags do not magically change colors. They don't get less red as time goes on. I wish I learned that faster. So yeah, save yourself the time and the pain and see red flags as red flags. You know, your intuition knows, your gut feeling knows when a red flag is present. Let's stop burying those flags and start seeing them for what they are and acting accordingly. Again, something that I wish I realized years ago. I didn't, and that's okay, but I would love for you to. Red flags will remain red. And going right off of that one, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. If you are someone like me who sees the best in people and wants to encourage people to be their best selves, and you know they can change and you know they can be a better person, actions. Let's look at the actions and believe someone when they show you and meet them there. That is true in romantic relationships, but I really want you to factor this into friendships as well, to career relationships as well. If someone is not showing up in the way that you need them to, honor that. Take that for truth, take that for what that is, and keep it pushing. Some financial love for you, pay off that credit card. Seriously, pay it off monthly or pay it off every time you get paid, whatever works for you. I think in our 20s, at least for me, this was the case. I had one irresponsible credit card, and now that I'm almost 30, I have one responsible credit card now that I've paid the irresponsible one off. And I wish that I was more responsible with my original credit card. It was an American Airlines credit card. I thought I was doing the thing to get the points and be responsible, but it ended up just stacking up and I wasn't staying on top of it. So something that I really would recommend if you are opening credit cards, pay them off. Don't let them sit with balances. Don't give all your money in interest if you can avoid it. I know sometimes it's unavoidable and things happen and you have to rely on credit. Totally fine. I totally understand it. Also, if you're a business owner, you are going to have business credit. It's just kind of the name of the game when you're investing in yourself and your business. But on a personal level, pay it off, girlfriend, if you can. Make a plan, get that budget in place, and be serious about your financial health. Find what you're passionate about and work towards it. Do not be complacent in what society wants you to believe is the only path. And what I mean by that is, sure, go to college, get a job, and build a family and go from there. That's the path that they want us to believe is the only path. Think outside the box, because if you're listening to this podcast, I am certain that there is something that you care deeply about, something that you are skilled at, something that you would like to share with the world outside of your 9 to 5 or your standard job or outside of school, whatever it may be. Work towards that. Make a plan. Write it down in your journal. Talk to people doing similar things. Start. Again, I talked about how the most important thing I did in my 20s, aside from calling off my wedding, was starting my business. The most important thing I did. And I'm so glad that I did because I had every excuse, every reason to say, I'm going to wait for the right time. I don't want to do it yet. I'm not ready. I could have done all of that and I could have put it off for years, but I chose to start. So find what you are passionate about and work towards it. Another financial tip here, auto transfer to your savings account bi-weekly or monthly, even if it's just $5. Even if you don't have a lot of space in your finances to save right now, saving just a few dollars at least keeps you in the habit of continually saving. And put it on auto transfer so that you don't even have to think about it. When you get a little bit of extra money, save a little more. When things are a little tight, bring that number down. Know that it can be fluid. But again, financial health is so important in our journey of becoming and getting into the habit of having that emergency savings so that when shit hits the fan, if you need it, you have it, is so important. And I don't want to overstate how hard things are right now, how hard times are right now, where a lot of people just aren't able to save. And I completely understand that. And again, $1, $3, $5, if you can just make a little bit of space, your future self will thank you for it. Prioritize sleep. In our 20s, I know we are like going out, we're hitting the town. Do that. Have your fun. Go out with the girls, go party, do your thing. I will never knock that when you are in your 20s and just living your life. At the same time, we need sleeps. Your hormones will thank you if you are able to prioritize sleep. Decenter the men. Or if you date women, maybe we decenter them too. My friends and I often talk about how much time we wasted in college, at the end of college specifically, when we were in our early 20s, just worrying about men and trying to get into a relationship and trying to date, when we could have just been having so much fun with the girls. And if you date women, this applies to you too, whoever you date. Decenter them. Spend time with your girlfriends, spend time with your friends, spend time on your own. Because when you're getting into a relationship, and if you're in a relationship, I'm not knocking it. I was in a relationship for all of my 20s. That's fine. But don't lose yourself in it. When I say decenter men, that can also apply to your boyfriend. Like, he is a bonus to your life. He's not there to complete you, or she or they are a bonus in your life. They are not there to complete you. And so when I say decenter them, maybe that's a better phrase for this, decenter them, it really just goes back to number one here, which was discover who you are first. Discover what you like first. Discover what brings you joy first. So that when you do have a partner, or when you build with your partner, you're able to see them as added value in your life and not depend on them. Therapy. We love therapy around these parts. Go to therapy, hire coaches, work with mentors. I am such an advocate in working with coaches, mentors, and therapists. So much so that I became a coach myself, because I truly believe in the transformation that you can see when you're working with a coach. Don't fall in love with potential. This is one of the hardest pills to swallow about relationships. If you are in a relationship now, you need to accept your partner as they are right now, not as who you think they could be. I heard this early on with my 20s, and I swear I just covered my ears and was like, la 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 la, doesn't apply to me, la la la, because I ignored this, and I wish I didn't. Potential, again, we want to see the best in people. We want to change people and help them become their best selves. It's not our job. Our job is to worry about our damn self and let people be who they are going to be and believe them when they show us. So you need to accept that the partner that you have now, or the partner when you start dating that you see early on, that is the person that you are choosing to be with. The version of them that you think they could be does not exist. That version of them is a figment of your imagination. And so don't fall in love with potential. Fall in love with present. Pay attention to what you're putting in your body, and I mean that in all of the ways. Pay attention to what you're putting in your body. Get to know ingredients. Get familiar with what's in your body products, your lotions, your perfumes, your face wash, everything. Just get serious about ingredients. There are so many endocrine disrupting toxins in all of our products that will fuck up your hormones, that are shown to cause infertility, that are just completely unnecessary. And I don't want to scare you by any means, but just start to pay attention to what you're putting in and on your body. This also applies to media and what you're consuming. Pay attention to what you're taking in, what you're paying attention to, and what you're getting influenced by. Move your body as an act of self-love, not as a punishment. So many of us, especially in our early 20s, I think we're trying to keep the college body and stay skinny or stay thin because we think that's so cool. And I'm so glad we've thrown that shit in the garbage, because a strong body is the best kind of body to have. Do workouts that you enjoy. Do workouts that make you feel good, that connect you with community, that are good for your hormones. This is where cycle syncing becomes such a beautiful thing, specifically in my journey. You don't have to go to the 6 a.m. spin class when you're on your period. You don't have to run the half marathon in your luteal phase. You get to move your body in ways that feel good. That can be walking, yoga, Pilates. Strength workouts are important for muscle mass and bone density. Don't get me wrong, I will always preach that. There are so many different ways to move your body, and explore that. Throughout my 20s, I did yoga, I did Pilates, I did strength training and Olympic style lifting. I did a ton of spin and HIIT and cardio. And ultimately, where I've landed now is I have a beautiful split of mat Pilates, strength classes, and then playing pickleball and tennis to get my cardio in. Find what works for you. I also really encourage you to play outside. I love reminding people to play outside with your friends. I, again, play pickleball and tennis. That can look like joining a run club or picking up a racket sport, or there's so many things that you can do to get fresh air, meet new people, and meet people that have a similar lifestyle as you. Self-discipline will set you apart. This is something that I preach day in and day out. Self-discipline is a form of self-love because people don't often do what they say they're going to do. If you are someone who does what you say you're going to do and you follow through on the commitments that you make to yourself, it will set you apart. It will completely propel you forward in your journey. I know this to be true because I am the most self-disciplined person that I know. I do not play about this. It has helped me become successful in business. It has helped me grow this podcast. It has gotten me to where I am today. Self-discipline will set you apart. Do not play about the things that you know are good for you. Be strict in becoming the woman that you want to be. That doesn't mean that you don't leave room for joy and play. In fact, I think these two things go hand in hand. I think that joy and play are critical in becoming the woman that you want to be. You also need to know how to discipline yourself, how to stay true to your word, and how to stick to the commitments that you say you're going to stick to over and over to make it a habit. And a follow-up to that is be protective as hell of your time. Do not hand your time out freely to anyone and everyone. Your time is so valuable. I think we spend a lot of time in our 20s trying to be liked by other people, trying to fit in and figure out where we fit in, and trying to gain approval. Be protective of your time and give it to the people and the things that matter. Give your time to the people that fill your cup and spend your time doing things that are aligned to what you desire. If you want to start a business, spend time with entrepreneurs and learning. If you want to get involved in running, spend time at Run Club and surrounding yourself with people that value fitness and staying active. Be protective of your time. That is one of the greatest lessons you will learn in this decade. Continue your education. And I don't mean go get all the degrees and never stop going to school. If that's your thing, that's your thing. Cool. We love a multi-degree girl. However, what I mean by this is just keep learning about the things that you're curious about. Get out of social media and learn through books, learn through podcasts, sign up for courses. So many universities offer free or low-cost courses around a range of topics. You can learn so much for so little and continue your education. I got my holistic health and wellness coaching certification through IIN, which I love and swear by as well. Learn what you want to learn. We go through high school and college being told what we have to learn based on our degree or our specialty. It is so empowering after college to just explore the things that are important to you, the things that you're genuinely curious about. There's a reason you feel that way, so go after them. You can always change your mind. This is one of my favorite mantras. You can always change your mind. You are not locked in to anything. You can change your mind. So why not try the thing? Why not start the program? Why not start the hobby? Why not start the business, start the brand, start the blog, start the podcast? Why not? You will learn so much more by doing the thing than by waiting around and researching the thing. Just do it. You can change your mind later. You can start a blog and decide, I hate this. I don't want to do it. You can start a business and decide you want to pivot and do something else. But you will never know if you don't try. So hold on to the fact that you can always change your mind and let that empower you to do the thing. Whatever that thing may be, do it. Travel often. Go see your friends. Stop waiting for people to go with you. This is a lesson that I just recently learned in coming out of my relationship. I spent so many years suppressing my desire to travel because I was with a partner that wasn't able to travel due to finances and work schedules and whatever else. And I was constantly waiting to do the things that I wanted to do. In the last almost 8 months of being single, I went on like 10 trips. I have said yes to anything that comes my way. I go by myself and I figure it out. And I think we spend so much time trying to create the perfect trip, make it out the group chat, make our friends come with us. If you start to lead by example, friends will follow, partners will follow, things will fall into place. But take ownership of your own desires. Book the trip, buy the flight. You are responsible for creating your own reality. Traveling is one way to create your own reality. This applies to every part of your life. You are responsible for creating your reality. So start filling your life with the things that you actually want to do instead of waiting for people to come along or instead of waiting for people to tell you what you should feel like doing. Not so fun one here, drink less alcohol. I don't know if you'll listen to this. I feel like alcohol is starting to phase out a bit. When I was in my early 20s, we were drinking so much alcohol, and I really wish we didn't. We had some fun times, but if you can drink less, drink less. I'm not saying quit completely. I still drink a little bit here and there socially. But at the end of the day, coming from a holistic health and wellness coach, alcohol is a toxin. It is a toxin. It is not good for you, even in small amounts. Ditch it where you can. Thank me later. And I'm working on this as well. Pick the mocktails, pick the adaptogens, pick the fun little bevies that are non-alcoholic but have a little something else in them, if you know what I mean. Go that route. One of the most important ones on this list as we come to the end, don't take life so seriously. Laugh more, be a silly goose, experience joy. This is something else that I have really learned in being single over these last few months because I took my life so seriously in my relationship because my body was constantly in fight or flight and I was under stress and I was trying to control things. I feel so much more flowy and silly and feminine now. And it's just the best reminder not to take life so seriously. Last but not least, gratitude. Gratitude first and foremost before anything. Start to implement a daily gratitude practice, whether that is journaling, whether it's meditating or praying, whatever it is, express gratitude every single day. As you get older, you start to realize how truly blessed we are to be here. What a miracle it is to be in this life, to be healthy, to have day after day after day of new experiences. And if you are someone that has access to food and water and shelter, and you have what you need, and you have people who love you, we are doing so well in life. We are so lucky. We cannot take that for granted. So I really want to leave you with the practice of gratitude. I discovered gratitude practice, I want to say in my mid-20s, and it changed my life in partnership with self-discovery and doing the inner work. You cannot do any of that without gratitude at the center. So find a gratitude practice, stick to it, and make it the center of your life. Okay, besties, that's all I have for you today. I could do part 2, 3, 4, 5 of this episode. There's just so many things I could share, but those really were the ones that were top of mind. Again, save this episode, come back to it. If a few of these resonated with you, I would love to hear which ones. You can always reach out to me. And please, please, please share this episode with someone in their 20s. That would be the greatest gift to me for my birthday, is if you send this to women in their 20s, sisters, cousins, daughters, granddaughters, coworkers. Send this to people in their 20s for a little bit of cup filling, a little bit of wisdom from someone who has been through it. I will put resources in the show notes for books that I recommend for women in their 20s. I will put my naturopath's information in the show notes as well as the link to work with me. I am now offering one-on-one wellness coaching for women. It is my mind, body, and soul approach to helping you become the woman that you want to be. Very similar to the entire nature of this podcast. If today resonated with you and you are interested in getting on the path to close the gap between who you are today and who you know you're capable of becoming, I would love to work with you. So I'll put the link to schedule a discovery call in the show notes as well, and we can get it on and poppin'. All right, my loves, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this with your loved ones. Thank you for listening, subscribing, rating, and reviewing. I will see you on the next episode, and until then, be well.